What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I'm reviewing the brand new Vapormax Triple Black 3.0. Thanks so much for tuning in today, guys. Make sure to give me a follow on Instagram and on Twitter at @RealSethFowler. But with all that being said, let's get into it. This weekend I was in Toronto for SneakerCon, so I didn't have a chance to look at what was dropping. And to my surprise, when I was walking around the different stores in the center of Toronto, I saw that the Vapormax 3.0 had dropped. If you guys had seen any of my other Vapormax reviews, you know that I'm not a huge fan of the silhouette. I don't mind it, but just the overall feel of the shoe is not my favorite. But guys, when I saw the Vapormax in that totally blacked out colorway, I had to grab it. And to be honest with you guys, the Vapormax is actually a good shoe, even though it's a little bit funky looking. And even though it might not work perfectly with my foot or be as comfortable for me as the Ultra Boost, it's still a good sneaker. So without further ado, here it is, the Vapormax Triple Black 3.0. The first thing you'll notice about this 3.0 Triple Black colorway is that unlike the previous Vapormaxes, this is totally blacked out. On previous iterations of the shoe, there were hits of gray and other sort of accent colors throughout the shoe, but on this colorway, it's all black. Well, I mean like 98% black. Starting off on the sneaker, the entire upper is made up of totally black Flyknit. There's no color variation on the Flyknit like the previous versions. The only way to tell the different parts of the shoe is to look at the different knit patterns. The Vapormax Flyknit is not very stretchy. It's a little bit stiffer than what you find on Prime Knit. However, because it's stiffer, it provides a lot more structure to the shoe, so unlike other knit sneakers, it doesn't need any underlays to keep its shape. Also, the toe box is pretty loosely knit, so it's super breathable. Moving back on the shoe, you've got your flat black laces held in place by black flywire. The Vapormax is a semi-detached tongue about half the way up, so you really can tighten the shoe with the laces, which is nice. I feel like being able to tighten the fit of the shoe by tightening the laces should be something that we take for granted, but unfortunately with all these sort of one-piece booty sneakers that are coming out, laces don't always do anything. But on the Vapormax, with the combination of the semi-detached tongue and the flywire, it gives you a really true one-to-one fit. Continuing back on the shoe, you find that the midfoot all the way to the heel of the shoe is split by this fuse overlay. The top half of the sneaker is exposed Flyknit, whereas the bottom half of the sneaker, although it is still Flyknit, is covered in this black matte fuse overlay. And I don't know if you guys can actually see that on the shoe, but there is actually another layer of fuse overlay on top of the other fuse overlay in the shape of a Nike swoosh. The swoosh is also a slightly different texture too. It's more of a satin feel than the matte feel of the regular fuse overlay. Inside the shoe, there isn't really anything in the way of padding. It's all just Flyknit right against your foot. There is also a pretty thick black insole with Vapormax written in white. As for fit, I'd say the shoe does run relatively narrow, so if you have a narrow foot, go true to size. If you have a bit of a wider foot, maybe go up half a size. But as I always suggest, make sure to try the shoe on first before you buy it, just to make sure it's the right fit for you. Moving around to the back of the shoe, you get the one external accent that isn't totally black, and that of course is this 3M hit right here that says Vapormax. Moving down the shoe, you get to that point of contention for a lot of people, that crazy Vapormax midsole. At first I thought it was one of those things that you either love or you hate. I really hated it when I first saw it, but the more I wore the shoe, the more I was like, okay, I can deal with the crazy looks because it does feel pretty comfortable. But yes, it does look like a mouth guard. There's really no way to get around that. One difference between the Triple Black 3.0 and the other Triple Black Vapormaxes is that this time around the air bubble is completely black. On previous iterations of the colorway, the midsole itself was more of a translucent black, so it had more of a smoky gray look than a totally black look. So I actually really like that they totally blacked the midsole out, so it gives the shoe a totally black look. This whole triple black fad is kind of crazy because, I mean, triple black shoes look just like all the other triple black shoes. You could be wearing a triple black Air Monarch and it would look very similar to this triple black Vapormax. I mean, at least from a distance. I mean, I really like triple black shoes because I think they look really clean, but I just don't get the fad, man. But getting back into it. Finally moving to the bottom of the shoe, you've got this crazy Vapormax outsole, which is not so much an outsole as it is a bunch of different air units. Now this is by far my least favorite part of the shoe. One, because I think it looks terrible, and two, because it actually causes some problems in day-to-day life. What I mean is that because the pods are all separated, sometimes you can catch on a curb or even worse on a stair, or I've heard people who drive a lot, sometimes it gets caught on their pedals. There can be problems like that that aren't very common but can happen because it doesn't have a totally flat outsole. To be fair, this is a running shoe, and the reason these air units are here is to provide a comfortable and responsive ride, which I think it does. But man, I think it looks a little funky. I think I'm warming up to the funkiness, I'm not gonna lie, but at first glance, it's the ugly duckling. One thing I want to clear up is a lot of people think that if you stand on a tack or a nail, the shoe is going to instantly pop, and I can tell you right now that's just not the case. The high wear areas of the outsole are reinforced, so they're actually a lot stronger than you'd expect, and believe me, you can't get through them with really anything. However, there are areas that are just exposed air units. They've really thickened up the material on those areas, so it's actually really difficult to pierce this shoe. These air units definitely won't pop in everyday use. Maybe if you like run into a knife with the side of your foot, that'll pop it, but I mean, how likely is that? Don't answer that. There are some weirdos on the internet and I really don't need to know. Now that we've got the review out of the way, let's put these guys on feet and see how they look. Make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below letting me know what you think of the 3.0 Triple Black and what you think of it compared to the other Vapormax colorways. And also, if you guys are interested in supporting me and the channel, head over to SethFowlerStore.com and grab a shirt. I've got 2 different colorways. Of course, this is one of them. The link to my website will be in the description below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to me, Seth Fowler, if you want to see more content just like this. And follow me on all other forms of social media. The links will be in the description below.